Can the member tell me why Canadians are feeling like they can't trust the government opposite because they've said one thing for 10 years and now they're doing something else, claiming that, they never said it? This gaslighting that I spoke about in my speech. Would he comment on that, please?
The honourable member for Tobique Mactaquac.
Thank you to my honourable colleague for that great question. And what has become abundantly clear is that people are tired of the contradictions, and they're tired of the verbal gymnastics, where one thing is said in conversation, grandiose ideas are put forth, but in the reality of walking it out and taking the steps necessary to actually release the potential of our country, they do nothing. They talk a great talk, but let's see what they do when it comes to actually putting in place the policies necessary to unleash our potential and unlock our resources so that we can prosper and tackle the challenges that are within our own country.
The honourable member for Kootenay, Alberni.
Mr. Speaker, I think we're going to maybe not agree on the causation of inflation, but one thing in terms of national solidarity, Mr. Speaker, in the spirit of solidarity, we know that Canadian retaliatory tariffs are having a significant impact on small business. In fact, the Canadian Federation of Independent Business cited that 49% of small businesses are feeling the impact either on their bottom line or throughout their supply chain. And through transparency and accountability, which my colleague talked about, we're still left in the dark. Canadians don't know how much money this federal government's collected or how they're going to get it to small businesses. Does my colleague agree that can't wait till the fall?
The honourable member has about 15-20 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thanks to my honourable colleague for the great question. Absolutely, we need to get to the bottom of how much has been collected so far through the counter-tariff measures and make sure that those that have been collected are getting to the businesses and to those families who've been most impacted by these tariffs that have been put on. It's time we had accountability, and the best way to get that is to have a budget that's tabled in this House.
Déclaration de députés, statements by members. The honourable member for Tayayakon, Parkdale, Hyde Park.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Exactly 100 years ago, less a day, 468 Presbyterians, Methodists, and Congregationalists in West Toronto put aside their differences to worship together for the first time. They gathered at a church at 432 Runnymede Road, a church they had just disassembled together and reassembled 6 blocks away. They were part of a national movement sweeping farming communities, small towns, and cities across Canada. Scarred by war, motivated by their faith and their belief in justice, these believers put aside their differences to create the United Church of Canada. This weekend, I had the honour of joining members of Runnymede United Church, still at 432 Runnymede Road, for their 100th anniversary celebration. Thanks to Centennial Committee Chair David Ambrose and all of those who put on and attended this celebration. The community at Runnymede United is active, reconciling with its past, and reaching beyond its community to its neighbours and the world beyond. It's a spirit we see throughout the riding of Tayakon, Parkdale, High Park. And at a time when so many are doom-scrolling, retreating, or dividing, it's one that I commend to this House.
The honourable member for Pitt Meadows, Maple Ridge.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the residents of Pitt Meadows, Maple Ridge, and Mission for re-electing me to a 3rd term in the House of Commons and previously twice to the BC Legislature. It's an honour that I take seriously. This has always been a competitive riding, and while this election was no different, support for our message grew significantly. 12,000 more votes locally than in previous elections. I saw a shift, particularly among blue-collar workers and young Canadians struggling with affordability. I spoke with thousands of constituents and asked a simple question. Are things better off after 10 years of Liberal rule? Not one person said yes, and that says a lot. The Liberals won, not by their own sorry record, but by copying Conservative policies like the carbon tax and capitalizing on Trump. Still they won, but make no mistake, Mr. Speaker, Conservatives like MPs like me will keep fighting every day for a safer, stronger, more...
L'honorable député.
The honourable member for Hull-Aylmer.
Last night, the National Holocaust Monument was vandalized. Are there no limits? The monument not only commemorates the 6 million murdered Jewish women, men, and children, but the millions of other victims of Nazism and their collaborators during the Second World War. More than that, the National Holocaust Monument is a statement for today. It is an ever-living declaration by right-minded people for tolerance for under peoples. To that depraved soul who defaced the monument, give your head a shake. Reconnect with your humanity. Appreciate our common history. And rejoin the better angels of our natures to build a better world so that we never again need to erect another Holocaust monument. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member for Kildonan St. Paul.
It has been 18 months since the tragic disappearance of Earl Moberg, a beloved husband, father, and grandfather from my community. Mr. Moberg suffered from dementia, and despite exhaustive search efforts, he has not been found and is presumed deceased. Unfortunately, by 2030, nearly 1 million people will be living with Alzheimer's in Canada, and nearly 60% will go missing at some point. Tragically, if they are not found within 12 hours, there is a 50% chance they will be injured or deceased from hypothermia, dehydration, or drowning. This really underlines the urgency of finding our loved ones as quickly as possible. That is why there's an urgent need for a national silver alert system. Like the Amber Alert system for children, it would rapidly notify the public when a senior with cognitive impairments goes missing in the area. To that effect, I've sponsored petition E5196, launched by the Moberg family, urging the federal government to work with provinces and police to implement a national silver alert system to save lives by helping locate missing seniors faster. We must act now to protect our most vulnerable and prevent future tragedies. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
L'honorable député.
The honourable member for Trois-Rivières. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to congratulate the Trois-Rivières Lions on their historic victory this Saturday, defeating the Toledo Walleye to win the Kelly Cup in the ECHL finals. The Lions are the only Canadian team in this professional hockey league. And it was their first time participating in the Kelly Cup. Trois-Rivières has delivered the goods recently. Congratulations to the team and their coach, and on the player who won the MVP. And this whole city is proud of them today.
Oilers in their match this evening. Canada is behind you. Merci, monsieur.
The honourable member for New Tecumseh, Gwillimbury.
Strap in, Mr. Speaker. There's something special about life in a Canadian small town, especially in New Tecumseh, Gwillimbury. These are places shaped by open fields, quiet roads, and a strong sense of community. People look out for one another, show up for local events, and take pride in the place they call home. That spirit is what Canada is all about. On July 1st, we'll kick things off with my annual Canada Day barbecue from 11:30 to 1:30. Join us at Riverdale Park in music as we celebrate Confederation together. And the fun won't stop there. August brings Carrot Fest in Bradford, part of the 100th anniversary of the Holland Marsh and Potato Fest in Alliston. It's not just about the vegetables. These festivals dedicated to hometown staples celebrate who we are. We'll see you in the Soup and Salad Bowl of Canada, Mr. Speaker. It's going to be unbelievable.
The honourable member for Markham Stouffville.